it might not be the actions which one expects that could take them into Jannah. On the day of Qiyamah, a person's regulatory a'mal may not be so great, but their adab and respect for Allah and His Messenger may be the thing which saves them. There was a king called Nasruddin Mahmud. He had a servant called Muhammad, and he would always call him with love and affection by his name, Muhammad. But on one occasion he called him by the name of Tahajuddin. So after fulfilling the task which he was told to do, he disappeared, and then he didn't reappear for another 3 days after that. The king then summoned Muhammad and said, "I was worried about you." Muhammad replied, "I was used to being called by the name Muhammad, and you would always call me this with affection. But on this occasion you called me by the name Tahajuddin, my nickname, and I was worried. Had I done something wrong?" The king explained, "No, usually I had wudu when I would call you by the name Muhammad, but on this occasion I didn't have wudu, so I didn't like to use the name Muhammad, and I used your nickname Tahajuddin instead." So you see the level of respect that the King Nasruddin had. This was telling because after his death, somebody saw him in a dream and asked how he fared in front of Allah Azza wa Jal. So he said, "I was forgiven." The person asked, "What was the reason for this? Was it because you were a very fair king?" So he said, "No, it was because on one occasion I was on a journey and I was lying down to sleep and I was just about to stretch my legs out, but I realized the mushaf was in front of me in that direction. So I sat upright instead. I was going to move the mushaf, but then I thought, why should I do this? Just because I want to rest. Why should I move the Kitab of Allah?" So I tried sitting up, I tried other postures, and I tried lying down in the other direction. But for the sake of respecting the Kitab of Allah, I couldn't sleep that night. I was told by Allah Azza wa Jal that for this small action, I was given Jannah. You see how important it is to have respect for Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam, upon whom we would often be lazy to make durood and say sallallahu alaihi wasallam when we hear his name, and how we should have respect for the Kitab of Allah, which often we do not even lift off of the shelf.